August 2, 1985. A hot, muggy afternoon in Dallas, Texas. Delta Airlines Flight 191, a Lockheed L-1011 TriStar, was en route from Fort Lauderdale to Los Angeles, with a scheduled stop at Dallas or Fort Worth International Airport. As the plane began its approach to land, no one knew that a hidden danger unseen by the pilots was about to bring tragedy to the skies. Flight 191 was a routine flight, with 160 passengers and crew on board. The approach to Dallas or Fort Worth was typical for a busy summer afternoon, but the weather conditions were far from ordinary. Severe thunderstorms were in the area, and the flight crew was aware of the risk. However, nothing could have fully prepared them for what was about to happen. As the plane neared the airport, the crew received radar reports indicating thunderstorms near the airport. They were warned of turbulence, but nothing suggested the kind of severe, hidden danger that lay ahead. A microburst. At 6:06 p.m., as Delta Flight 191 was descending through 3,000 feet, the aircraft was caught in the full force of a microburst, a sudden, powerful downdraft of air that struck the aircraft without warning. A microburst is a small, localized downdraft within a thunderstorm that can produce extreme wind shear or rapid change in wind speed and direction over a short distance. As the plane encountered the microburst, the wind speed rapidly increased, causing the aircraft to lose altitude. The pilots, struggling to regain control, were hit by a severe wind shear that pushed the plane downward. The aircraft plummeted uncontrollably toward the ground. In just a few seconds, the aircraft was out of control, plummeting to the ground at 200 miles per hour. At 6:07 p.m., Delta Airlines Flight 191 crashed just 3,000 feet short of the runway. The plane hit the ground with a devastating impact, breaking apart and bursting into flames. Rescue teams rushed to the scene. The fire was intense, and the wreckage was spread out over a large area. Tragically, 137 people lost their lives in the crash, including 8 crew members and 128 passengers. The survivors, many critically injured, were rescued and rushed to nearby hospitals. The scale of the tragedy shocked the world. Delta Flight 191's crash was the deadliest in the airline's history, and the sudden nature of the disaster left the aviation community grappling with the difficult question: how could this happen? The National Transportation Safety Board (NTSB) immediately launched an investigation into the crash. What they discovered was a series of failures that led to the tragic loss of life. At the core of the disaster was the microburst, an unpredictable weather phenomenon that pilots had not been adequately trained to recognize and react to. The investigation revealed that the microburst's sudden and intense wind shear was the primary cause of the crash. The pilots had no warning that the wind conditions would change so drastically, and the aircraft lost so much altitude so quickly that they had no time to recover. The NTSB's findings highlighted the need for improved weather detection and training for pilots. The crash of Delta Flight 191 to significant changes in how the aviation industry approaches weather-related incidents. In the aftermath, new technologies were introduced to improve weather detection. The FAA began installing Doppler radar systems at airports to help identify microbursts and other dangerous weather phenomena. Additionally, pilot training programs were overhauled to include specific training on how to recognize and react to wind shear, microbursts, and other forms of severe turbulence. These changes were designed to ensure that no flight crew would ever be caught unaware by a hidden danger in the skies. While the tragedy of Delta Flight 191 will never be forgotten, its legacy has made air travel safer for everyone. The advancements in weather detection, radar technology, and pilot training that followed have helped prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the years since. The lessons learned from that fateful day continue to shape aviation safety practices today. Delta Flight 191 was a reminder of the unpredictable dangers that can lurk in the skies. It also served as a catalyst for change, pushing the aviation industry to become more proactive in protecting lives. Though 137 lives were tragically lost, their memory lives on in the improvements made to air safety, ensuring that future generations will fly safer. August 2, 1985, was a tragic day in aviation history, but it was also the day that sparked a critical transformation in the way we understand and respond to weather-related hazards in flight. Today, thanks to the lessons learned from Flight 191, the skies are a little safer, and the legacy of those who perished is carried forward in every flight that takes off. Delta Airlines Flight 191, focusing on the microburst phenomenon that led to the crash, the investigation, and the lasting changes in aviation safety that followed. It highlights the role of weather-related incidents in aviation and how the industry responded to prevent similar accidents from occurring in the future.